Hello YouTube and welcome to a new ArtaView. It was time for a new ArtaView and now it is time for the ArtaView. Um, yeah, this time I want to go only over green purple because the other decks I didn't play, I didn't work on. Because I just want to prepare for Birmingham and therefore I want to improve the deck that I think I will play. Maybe, but I will play blue, yellow, Grandpappy, heel Otika in Birmingham. So please take against blue, yellow, heel Otika. Thank you. No, serious. I think green purple is still in a good spot. It's a top contender for the metagame. And yeah, it's a reasonable pick. Today I want to go over the matchups. That was my goal for today because I didn't talk about the matchups in particular. I adjusted the deck a bit. I just want to talk about the new versions. I think it gets closer and closer to be final defined. I didn't touch many cards that are in there right now. I went back to You're Welcome because You're Welcome, I tested it again, was better than I had it in my memory, and still sometimes even a reasonable card playing on your own characters. If you can sing it with Elsa or something and bounce your one drop back or something, still kind of value, and still is one of the best tools we have for cards like Tamator or Big Cindy. Yeah, because of course our colors have not that crazy good options. The question is still between Banzai and Sir Hiss. Right now, this could change in a week. I'm on Banzai. I think it's too important against Red Blue. Red Blue was too popular the last days, weeks. And it's also very much better against Blue Steel. Problem is it feels needed against these decks, but the deck feels way more versatile with Sir Hiss. But yeah, it just important to notice that all the top decks last week were some tournaments, some big tournaments, all decks that were good, that are green purple played Banzai. Yeah, played Banzai. And still, he's something providing to the deck that the deck lacks, and that's just lore. All of our characters have one lore nearly, except our big characters, and it feels sometimes refreshing to just play a two lore character, and yeah, just to close out games faster and not go that grindy every game. But it hurts. It really hurts still that he is not inkable. But right now, I think he's the way to go. If you go with his or split them, it's not sure. But split them is weird for me. If I would like to split them, I think I would like to play 3/3 and cut other things to play 6 2-drops in total, because that's weird if you play 2 buns, then you don't have the cards in the matchups you want them, and yeah, that's weird. Other than that, I think there's all well defined. I went to 4 Pegasus because I thought if I cut the his Pegasus are really good into red purple. If I cut the his, then Pegasus is our evasive quester. Yeah, went back to Kit because still I had many situations where Kit was useful, would have been useful, and I missed him, and he felt good again. You can play around with some numbers. That's the list I'm on right now. Don't feel pressured that this is the best list or something. Just I would like to play 4 crabs for Steel Song. Some people cut the Lilestone. I still think that's wrong. He's just too good. But that's personal preference. I wouldn't touch the count. I saw other lists that touch the count of Clarabels and Ursulas. I think you can't play less than 3 Clarabels. It's too important. And Ursula, neither, even less. You could cut one Elsa, but then it's hard for me to change things here. You could cut the You're Welcome, play other removal, but if you cut the You're Welcome, I would recommend to play either Genie or the 2-drop Mother Gothel or something, just some kind of removal, because we need that. Yeah. That's the list. Nothing too special this week. It didn't change too much. I want to go over the most important matchups in the meta right now, and just a bit about my feeling is the matchup favored or not, and how to play against it a bit. I try to make it from top to bottom, from top the most played deck in my feeling, and then goes lower and lower. So the first deck I want to talk about is Steel Song. It won Bren the Kendio. Shout out to him. Shout out to you, the Kendio. Won a big tournament and the weekend with Steel Song. And with the list that's kind of not good for us, because he cut the Daisies. What's interesting, because Daisy was very good for us, but Daisy will still see play, I think. But it was very good for us that the Steel Song decks play Daisy, because it was the worst card you can imagine against us. Gave us just card draw, and the lore didn't matter too much. And to cut the Daisy and play the Naveen is kind of scary, because the Naveen is a really good card against us, giving them very much tempo. Because we were often able to remove their singers for singing the wheel, and Naveen can outplay this by just playing this turn and play the wheel. It's still revolving around 2-drop Ursula. Please hard mulligan for 2-drop Ursula if you don't have her. And most of the time the player wins. If they sing one whole new world, they win. And if we are able to prevent that, then we win. That's most of the time the case. We can still win if they can sing a whole new world. It's not completely lost, but it gets harder now. But if they don't, we are in a really good spot, because we just outvalue them. They have no real card draw. Just be care of Rapunzel sometimes, to not give them important card draw. What I think is the evasives got way better against Steel Song, because they all cut their mass removal. So Grab a Sword, very rare lists play Grab a Sword, and therefore they need a single target removal for the Pegasus. What's okay if they play. I mean, Storm Rage On is always a valuable card, but if they play a strength on this, it's fine. I got some games where I quested with Pegasus 4 or 5 times. That's in the past what was very rare. So evasive got better against them. It's just still the fact, if they open with Cindy and we are on the draw, we don't play 1-drop. And just hard mulligan for 2-drop Ursula. Try to overtake the board. I think it's quite even, the matchup. I played Hest alone. I have a good win rate against it, but I think, in Pixelmon Connect, not all people are very competitive. So my good win rate doesn't mean much. But it's still, there are competitive players, and I think it's still pretty even. It's a weird game often, and I think Steel Song is not the deck anymore that should hold us back to playing this deck. It feels not like a bad matchup. That's it for Steel Song. Red Blue is also kind of even. I think it's hard. It depends a lot on the build. I think Banzai is way, way, way better than Sir Hiss in this matchup, because just yeah, they need an answer for Banzai. It's something that pressures them. Sir Hiss is good against them, but not as good as Banzai, and therefore, yeah, Banzai is by far the best turn 2 play against them, because Hiss they can just stick there and quest 4 times. That's, you can't let Banzai quest 4 times most likely. And therefore your win rate against Red Blue will raise if you play Banzai over Sir Hiss. Other than that, it's a tough matchup. You need exactly what you do all the time, and it's hard to summarize all this in 1 or 2 sentences. You need to get to a reasonable amount of lore in the early game to be able to have a chance, because it's very, very possible to outvalue them. It is possible with Clarables and things, but their top decks are so good that they can come back very easily in any stage of the game. That's the problem. It feels also, I think this is really 50-50 there. I'm more confident as I say it's 50-50. It's really, really close matchup. And often, of course, the player on the play wins if both know exactly what to do. But it depends a lot on the build. If they play the rare Caesar build, Caesar is our worst enemy. It's still it's a nightmare, this card, and you need to set up the board that not everything dies to Sisu. That's very, very important for victory. To still have something on the board if they play Sisu. Therefore, the big characters like Clarabelle and Ursula are just good, just for not dying to Sisu, simply. And well, because we have a lot of 2 strength characters, and that's a problem. Gold is the most important card in this matchup. Fox is also very good. Yeah, and Clarabelle 1-drop is also very good. But Banzai turn 2 will raise the win rate by a big amount. Yeah, because you have to say like this: if you're on the play and we play Banzai, okay, that's their turn 2. What do they do? 1 jump or something else. So he quests for 1. Next turn, what do? They want to do Quill or Hiram. If they 1 jumped, he quests for another 2. And so he quests at least for 3 most of the time on the play, and at least for 2 on the draw. And that's very much. That's 4 or 6 lore for a 2-drop. That's very, very much. And if they want to deny it, then they have to play a Maui on turn 4. And that's a weird turn for them to just play a Maui. And that got some value then for us, because to waste a Maui, they could have inked the Maui and play Medusa later or something, but they need to do it to prevent some lore if they want to, and that's very high value for a 2-drop. And therefore I think he's very, very good into red blue. Yeah, same for blue steel, nearly all the same reasons. Yeah, that's it. It's very, very close. And to say it like this, these are the 2 decks to beat right now. That's by far the most played, I think, and both are very close matchups. And I think if you play a deck that is against both 50-50, you pick a good deck. Like red purple is also a good deck, because yeah, maybe it's even favored against red blue, and it's okayish against red purple is favored into red blue and unfavored against Steel Song maybe, and we are like 50-50 into both, so both are reasonable picks. You can't pick a deck that has a bad win rate against both of them, of course, and it needs to be even in addition, if you know what I mean. The win rates, if you summarize the win rates of both, like Steel Song 40% and red blue 60% or something, they must have at least 100% in total to something like this to be playable in my opinion. And we have that, but it's tough. We have that. It's tough, but we have that. To find a deck that's favored into both is not possible. It's not possible. I think, yeah, at least it's not found yet. So we should be happy with that, because our deck has a lot of improvement with skill differences and to outplay your opponent it's good possible with our deck. And yeah, it's not vulnerable to bricking or something. But I wouldn't go up to more than 12 uninkables. I think 12 is, for me, 12 is a scary amount. For other decks it wouldn't be, but still we are an adaptive deck. That means our cards are with our cards we are adaptable to many board states. But for that, we need, of course, a low amount of uninkables, because we not want to ink the one card to play the other card. For example, if we have 2 3-drops in hand, it's Kid and Lyle, and they play Diablo. We want to play the Kid, and if we want to play the Kid, we want to ink the Lyle, but we can't ink Lyle, so we have to ink Kid and play Lyle. Just as an example. And that's in summary, if many of these situations come together, that's very bad. Or for example, against Steel Song, Banzai is really, really bad, because if we have Banzai and Ursula in our hand, we want to play Ursula. I mean, we have another card we could ink in that turn, but then we have this 2-drop we would want to play in the future, because we want to really play Ursula on turn 2. And then we have this uninkable Banzai in our hand left. That's not very useful. And therefore, our deck needs a low amount of uninkables, and I think 12 is yeah, it's on the edge of for me. Would like to play less, but I think these 3 cards are so powerful. Yeah, these 2 cards are so powerful, but Banzai is needed and also very powerful, that we have to take that. Yeah, but Red Blue, tough game, tough matchup, and 50-50. Not favored into anything. So, and then there comes a large gap for me for other decks. And the good thing about our deck is it feels really favored into nearly everything else. And that's very good for me. Against Red Purple, this is just crazy good. It gets harder if the opponent knows exactly what they do. They know exactly that they have to brawl your Lyle on side. If they don't brawl your Lyle, they are instantly dead, nearly. They need to brawl your Lyle instantly. And if they know that, it gets harder, but it's still favored for us. It gets also a little... also our list now is also a little bit weaker against them now, because we have Banzai instead of Sir Hiss, and Sir Hiss is way better against Red Purple. But our deck in total is just there for crushing Red Purple, really. It's everything they hate. We do everything they hate. We do much evasive characters. We do Lyle. What's crazy? We do so many things. It's so hard for them, really. Also, it's everyone. If you have a bad rune read against Red Purple, you're doing something significantly wrong, and that you should determine. But to be fair, if you play Banzai over Sir Hiss, it gets a lot harder. It gets harder, okay? It gets harder, because Sir Hiss is so crazy powerful against Red Purple. Just not being, for explanation, yeah, you can't brawl the Sir Hiss, and she just quests till forever, and if they play a Medusa on Sir Hiss, then it's okay for us. Even Pegasus is a problem for them, so... some lists of Red Purple go to Elsa now. You have to be aware of. But other than that, yeah, we do just many things. And if all goes not in favor for us, then we just play Clarabelle. So it's crazy good. That's Red Purple. Next deck, you could argue what comes next, but I would say Blue Steel. Blue Steel is our... Oh, I forgot to say that. Sorry. I said it wrong. Blue Steel is our worst matchup. I would say by far. Sorry, I didn't mention that earlier. It's really, you want to dodge Blue Steel at any cost. Please, in a DLC, dodge Blue Steel, okay? Just don't play against it. That's very important. You can win, of course. Any deck can win against any deck, but you can win, but it gets very 2-0 is nearly impossible, and you need to win the game on the play. It's not almost impossible to win 2-0, but also here, if the opponent knows exactly what to do, all they need to do is ramp up to Tinkerbell and just go on the toilet or something because they don't need to play anymore. It's very hard. It's very hard. They have everything they do we don't like. Cogsworth is a real problem. Cogsworth with Tinkerbell is the craziest problem. And then they can, if they have Cogsworth and Tinkerbell, they can stall the game till the Tamadora is on the board, and we can't do much. We could tag against this matchup with, for example, Isabella would be great against them. Isabella, if you really want to improve the matchup, but I think it's not played that much. So maybe we have to just take that and hope we dodge it. Banzai gets it a little bit better because they just get pressure early and cannot do all they want. Sometimes we can outvalue them with Ursula, but they have Tamator, they have Hiram too, and it's very hard. It's really, really hard. And early big Ursula is what we want to do, but it's hard. Yeah. The next, you could argue what's the next is yellow-green maybe. Yellow-green is very good for us. We have one card that kills them completely. It's 7-drop Ursula. If we get down a 7-drop Ursula, they are lost. And you have to be careful to try to dump your hand, to not give them much value out of Prince John. I try to dump my hand very fast against them, and our board is often stronger than theirs, and we have 2-drop Ursula and 7-drop Ursula to deny their Under the Sea combo. It's very rare that they can get their Under the Sea combo done, because the Under the Sea combo comes way later than the Steel Songs Whole New World. So we have much more time to find an Ursula or to play big Ursula. Yeah, that's that. What do we have else? Hyper Aggro. If Hyper Aggro is still a thing, it's crushed by us. It's nothing to mention. You play one Lyle and they can just surrender most of the time. The Lyle is just a menace. It's nothing to talk about. Just look for an early curve and try to crush them. Purple Steel is also way better than in the past. They are an aggro deck, and aggro decks are very vulnerable to Lyle. Try to use the Lyle in the turn where you play it to instantly trade something with some other characters to get some lore back, because they often can Zeus it and then you get no lore value out of him. Yeah, that's something to have in mind. Other than that, I mean, they're very fast deck and good deck. If they have everything they want, it's always tough on a draw, but I think the win rate is on our side. Yes, Mufasa is depends on our build. We need some kind of You're Welcome or Genie or 2-drop Gothel. Most of the time, one bounce effect or just remove effect like this is enough to beat them. But it's tough sometimes. Banzai is also way better than Sir Hiss in this matchup because we can race better. And Mufasa matchups often revolving around racing, where Lyle is traditionally good, but they have just thick characters. They are unkillable, where we struggle against. It's not a really bad matchup, but it's tricky sometimes if you don't yeah, um, have the answers that you need to. Crab is also very good here. Yeah. What else do we have? We have Blurple. Blurple is tricky. Um, Against Blurple, we are in Hyper Acro deck. Just play everything out. Every cheap character, they have no board wipe. All they do is the late Ursula and play everything out. We're just in Hyper Acro deck against them. Because if they have this spot where they can drop Elsa, it's a problem for us, and then we lose. So try to be very, very aggressive against them. Yeah, that's that. And I think I got all matchups covered. Green Steel. Green Steel. I didn't think about Green Steel because it's really, really rarely played and I don't face much. But could be a thing. I think we're still very good against Green Steel. They have many songs we can rip with Ursula. Just be aware of Declarable to not give them that much value. And you should be fine. I think I can't give you super good insights because I don't know if I played one game against Green Steel yet. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Good. Friends, what I want to say, I'm writing on my guide now. I'm finished soon, but I hope I will 1 week from now, I hopefully be able to release it. Yeah, it's much more work than I thought it is, but I hope really it's all to you will like it. Yeah, and I will keep you updated in Twitter when I release it and how you can purchase it. That was the weekly ArtaView. I hope I didn't forget something. If I forgot something, I will tell you in Twitter. It's a good deck still. We have many tools, but it's no auto-win deck, of course not. And you need a lot of practice. So please practice this deck if you want to play it in a big tournament. Okay, so thank you for watching. Till next time, goodbye and bye-bye. See you soon.